welcome everyone. And guess what? 3, 2, 1. We're in the office. Oh, it feels good. Yeah. How are you doing, everyone? Ooh, I'm a little bit red. Man, it's so warm. Bum, 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 bum. It's warm. I don't know, like 30 degrees in France, but we're in the office. Now, of course, there's stuff to do still in the office, but my desk is here, my big ass screen is here, my laptop is here, my microphone, I have space, I have room, my glass of water also here. So, I'm happy. And, there we are. So, this is going to be the new background that you will be seeing for a little while, at least for probably the upcoming 1 if not 2 years. We're not really planning to be here for many years in this apartment, as this is more of our landing spot to experience the lifestyle, and if it is what we like, then we go and buy a house, which, we want to preferably do in the upcoming years. So I don't really want to put too much time and effort in hanging stuff on the walls and and doing everything, or get people here that do that for me. Because in the end, and also I can't really do that because it's in the end not my apartment. We rent it. But this is it. So, how you guys doing? How are you doing? Time to slowly turn the music off and start with the analysis after we say hi, as always. Okay. Solid Fab, how are you doing? Welcome. Akin Yemi, good to have you here. Hoshi, what's up? I just see you joined the group, by the way, in Discord, so you managed to find your way in there. So while I see you're in there, let me immediately, there you go. You now have a silver name and you're able to see the silver channel on the left called updates. Okay. Welcome, Carl, as well. Hope you're doing good. Dasek, Serega, QZ World, Legionario, Perkeo, getting ready for another volatile session. Well, we do like some activity on the chart, right? There's a bit of volatility here. Siu, NTT, what's up? Stuba, always nice. Like Stuba, in between of his, in between his busy life, posting some of his ideas earlier today. Also a bearish idea. I think he also posted that in Bitcoin Elliott Wave only, not just the gold Elliott Waves channel. And Stuba is a very good Elliott Wave counter, so make sure to check his messages. You can right-click here on search on user, and then look for his name. He is a little bit rusty, he said. He is, I don't know, maybe holiday, work, school, who knows. So he didn't look at the chart too much, but generally very good ideas, very good counter as well. And you may know him from sometimes mentioning him in videos. Robert, welcome. Donovan, good to have you here. Afshin, office, well done. Yeah, I'm happy to be in my space here. Best time when setting up offices. Yeah, I mean, it's warm, man. It's warm. Manuel, Yuri, good to have you here. Sam, what's up? Who's Chingy, your micro good finally. Your micro good. Chingy, cheers, I guess. Tell us the support for the retracement. I will. As we will cover weekly, daily, and the local time frame, and we will discuss the most important supports for each of these time frames, as it is, of course, important for Elliott Waves. So that's what we're going to cover. On the thumbnails, of course, I now write as well what I want to talk about in the videos, right? So that you already have an idea of where I'm going with the content. So, of course, the channel is focused on Elliott Waves, and we will identify the most important areas of support for price to get that bull market continuation to the upside, right? Cola, by the way, good to have you here. Welcome, Oli Banana. That will come in the analysis. And Mawitz, bonjour, mon ami. Bonjour, Hamza. Always watching, bro. Thanks all the time. Cheers, Cola. Nice to have you here, man. Good to see you popping once again. Just need some color, I know. It's very white. At least you can see me. I'm black, blue cap. I'm starting to get a little bit of a tan now as well. So, you know. Alok, welcome. Cheers, Hoshi. Kandras, Brahim, New Newman, Joe, Iker, Jack, Sam, what's up, everyone? I like your new thumbnails. Cheers, Sam. Yeah. The thumbnails were actually an idea of both Jeroen, employee of the channel, and the marketing company, so that every thumbnail is different, so that people know, first of all, what is a new video and what is a older video, because previously all the thumbnails were the same, and it sometimes confused people with, like, is this a new video? Is this an old video? Like if they see it on the homepage of YouTube, for example. And second, of course, if you want to grow the channel, you preferably communicate in a thumbnail what's happening in the video. I don't like clickbait. I don't want to be a clickbait bitch, right? So, and what I mean with clickbait is if people write stuff on a thumbnail that they are not delivering on in the video. So they are saying stuff, right? On the thumbnail, they say, oh, this, that. But then in the content, they are not actually answering that question, or they are not like covering what they wrote on the thumbnail, right? So I always want to be true to myself. And what am I doing here? I always want to be true to myself, and everything I put on a thumbnail is what we are covering in the video, or it reflects the highest probability from an Elliott wave point of view. So yeah, and I feel good doing it that way, right? And hopefully everyone else feels the same way. Okay. Now, as mentioned, we're going to start on the weekly, go to the daily, and then the more local, lower time frames, right? And per time frame, we will look at the most important area of support, right? So that is very, very interesting. That's what's going to happen in the analysis today. Teos, welcome. Christian. Hello, everybody around the world. Yeah, it's a global audience, eh? Yes, Fear. Have some Coke with lemon and ice, you will fresh. Well, the Coke, meh, but actually water with lemon is really good, right? Really good, especially also for your liver. If we took a new low, are we in trouble for the bull market? No. If we make a new low, there's still the potential for a wave 4, but locally like a 4-5. But time-wise, 4 starts to be long, but it's something we'll cover in more detail. But the bull market only really is invalidated if you're going to move below like 40K. Of course, your invalidation is 37.7, but lemon water, not good for the teeth. Oh, interesting. I got to sip it with a rietje. What's that thing? It's good for the liver though. Christian, what's up? How you doing? Christian, you had a question earlier. No, the analysis has not yet started. You had a question in the comments. I don't know exactly what it was, but I did write you saying, hey, ask me this during the live stream so I can explain. So let me ask me, and I'll come back to it later because we're going to start the analysis. Okay, let's get this started, shall we? Do this, do that, do that. Okay, so the most important areas of support are, of course, related on this channel to Elliott wave analysis, because that is what we do, right? And on the chart, you see the weekly highest probability scenario. So it's the weekly time frame, and it is the highest probability scenario on the weekly time frame, right? So here we then look for wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a wave 5 towards the upside to then end the bull market and look for a retracement to the downside. The most common target for your wave 4 is between the 0.236 and the 0.5, 57.1, 42.8. We pretty much hit the 382, at least we got close. We didn't actually touch it on my chart, 48.7K. Now it is common for a wave 4 to retrace to that 382.05 area, which we did, right? Even though we missed out the 382 by just a few $100, doesn't matter. But it is nice to see. And this is also your most important support from an Elliott wave point of view on the weekly time frame. I do use other tools in combination with Elliott waves to identify important support areas, right? And for the ones that are here for a longer period of time, you know I like to use volume. You know that I like to use time frame horizontals, right? Daily, weekly, monthly. You know I like to use the volume profile. You know I like to use simple support resistance areas and order blocks, right? These are the ones I generally use the most. Now what you can see here is that price perfectly here bounced on top of this support area, 49.1, 49.7K. It's a nice support area. It's an important support area as well, right? It is an area that has different sets of confluences, which I'll show you in a second. But this white box, together with the blue box below, are the two most important. First of all, this one, right? The white one, 49.1, 49.7. Second, 44.3, 45.2. So when we look at the support area in this bull market, this yellow box is your most important area of support. This is your area of interest, right? This is the area where it's interesting to look for signs of strength locally on the lower time frames and price to move up. However, this box is of course really big. 57.1 to 42.8K is an incredibly big support area, right? So to get more precise, right, which also helps with trading, I find additional areas of support that help me with entries, right, when I trade Elliott waves as well, on the lower time frames. And one of these has been hit here, 49.7, 49.1. And if we do lose this support, the next most important one is 44.3, 45.2. I honestly don't really like to see that one lost. Then we get to the 05, which would be very deep. We do have a blue box there still, 42.5, 42.8. But your next most important area would be 45K, and after that 42K, right? So your most important support here, the yellow box. But in the box, always good to have additional areas, and that is what I do, right? And that's very nicely respected. Now, after a wave 4, we look for continuation up in 5, right? So this is, again, your most interesting area. And we look for a wave 5 to the upside, going towards 100K, possibly hitting a 100K or moving above. A wave 4, just for the Elliott wave analysts here, right? You guys know. A wave 4 is commonly longer in time than a wave 2, okay? Now what you see here is that there are 3 vertical lines, and these are taken with the FIB time tool, trend-based FIB time, from the start to the end of 2 to the end of wave 3, comparing wave 2 in time with wave 4 in time. Now, as mentioned, wave 4 is commonly longer than wave 2. However, this current low here is made before the 1-to-1, meaning currently this wave 4 is by 1 candle shorter than wave 2. The 1-to-1 is the 12th of August. Now, time is never a rule in Elliott waves. It's not even an official, it's more like a guideline. It's not officially written wave 4 has to be longer than wave 2. It's just most commonly it is longer than a wave 2. So the 12th of August and the time after is very important. But if locally on the lower time frames we see signs of strength, of course we're going to be looking for already continuation to the upside and a low to be made, something we're going to cover in a second. The invalidation is 37.7. If we hit this, pretty much bull market finish. You look for a deeper retracement, which is the bearish scenario I have on a weekly time frame, which I will actually show you as well in a second. Now currently, with the current low that we have in the box over here, on top of that important support, the target area for your wave 5 is between 81.3K and 129K. Now that again is a very big target area, but based on lower time frame Elliott wave counts, we can get more specific. This is a weekly time frame target area. On the daily, the target will be a bit smaller. 4 hour, bit smaller. 1 hour, bit smaller. 50 minute, very small, right? So as new information comes in, once we actually break the all-time high, we can get a lot more specific. But at the moment, this is the target for your wave 5, and this is the area of interest in your wave 4, or for your wave 4. I mentioned that there is 2 important areas of support that we hit. First of all, of course, the yellow target box. Second, the white box I've shown you, but there's a few confluences. Right? First of all, on the weekly time frame, this support resistance level has played an important role in the past. Bit of support. First of all, it's been traded through quite a lot. Bit of support, resistance, 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 and then we fell down, right? Big bear market. Resistance, support, question mark, right? Support, holding. Second, we have a value area high here. I've been talking about this level for a very long time. As price moved to the upside here, we were already talking about the value area low, point of control, value area high. These are value areas that you can take with the fixed range volume profile. You take it from pretty much the beginning to the end of the range. I got to be a bit more precise to get the exact levels, but you see that, I pull it randomly now. It's pretty close. So that's the range. And you then have the value area high, point of control, value area low, nicely respected. Resistance, break, value area high, resistance, point of control, support, break out, right? A little bit of an order block. And now we came back to retest this area. What we don't want to see is price losing this support and then break structure, right? And we'll get to this on the lower time frames. If we do move down once time, preferably we move down and then we do that, but we don't break the low, right? We don't want to see break and do this. If we move to that point of control, bull market is going to have a bit of a problem, but that is not the highest probability. Highest probability is looking for your wave 4 and not price to break 38K. That's also very low for where we are now. 1 second. Voice, hello. So, second, when using Elliott wave analysis, channels are very, very interesting. What you see on the chart here is a trend channel taken from the high to the low. The moment a trend channel is broken, which is what you see now, the probabilities increase that the price action here is a wave 4. In other words, the probabilities at the moment are highest for this scenario on the weekly time frame, right? After a wave 4 is in, we are going to be looking for a wave 5 to the upside. And you can again use a channel. So if you use the channel tool, right, then you can pull a so-called end channel, right? And you can pull it from the low of 2 to the potential low that we made for a 4 to the high of your 3. Toggle on the midline as well. And then the target for a wave 5 generally is in the upper portion, right, of your channel. Which, I mean, at the moment, of course, in this current week would be pretty much all-time high, but the longer price takes to eventually move up, of course, the higher your target is going to be. So this is called an end channel. And finally, you have a base channel taken from the low, right, to the low of your wave 2 to the high of your wave 1. Remember this scenario here. And then the base channel is in green. And what we like to see is 1, 2, 3 breaks out of the base channel, 4 comes back in the channel or at least retests the channel, preferably not hitting the lower trend line here, and then move back towards the upside for your wave 5. So these are the 3 channels. We have broken out of the trend channel. That's also what you like to see. The bearish scenario is a move to the downside in preferably the WXY, which is the green count. But I have 2 counts on my chart. So this is when the important support that we just spoke about on a weekly time frame gets broken, right? So the support here doesn't hold, 45K doesn't hold. That starts to be a little bit of a problem. We have finally 42K, but preferably we don't get that low, right? The closer we get to that 38, the bigger the problem. So in this case, the bearish scenario as an Elliott wave analyst always needs a bullish and a bearish scenario per time frame, right? We are looking for a 3-wave corrective structure and then continuation. It's not the highest probabilities, right? Let me be clear here. This is the higher probability, right? Trading is probabilities. There's no there's no 100% in the market, right? So here we then have a three-wave structure in A or W, B or X. We look for a wave Y or C. Your minimum target would be a 30.4K. Your maximum target would be below 15K. But I do know that based on fundamentals in Bitcoin and the miners, going below 15K is incredibly unlikely, of course. But 30.4K would be a minimum target. Again, it's not the highest probability because this is your highest probability, okay? Cool, so that's been said, that's been done. That is the weekly time frame, okay? So we have one bullish, one bearish scenario on the weekly time frame. Any bullish scenario has a higher probability, and the most important areas of support have been mentioned. Cool. Daily time frame, right? We're zooming in to that wave 4. Remember, on the weekly, we have the yellow wave 3. We're looking for that yellow wave 4 to end, okay? And after this wave 4, we want to see continuation of the bull market. Inside that wave 4, we want to see a three-wave corrective structure where your most important area of support is this green box. Now, as the probabilities are higher from an Elliott wave point of view on the weekly time frame, to look for a wave 4 and then a wave 5 to the upside to create a new all-time high. Of course, on a daily time frame, the moment price touches this area here, it's interesting, right? This is your area of interest for potential long trades, depending on the local reaction, as preferably that's what I look for as well. But it's an area of interest to end a three-wave corrective structure, ABC on my chart here, and look for bigger moves towards the upside, no? Now, your most common target for C is the 1 to the 1.236 on the chart, 52.6, 48.5, right? This is most common, and that is because a wave A and a wave C tend to like be equal to one another, right? Wave A leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 wave B, and then a wave C to the downside. You can see we still have some space left, right? So no problem, we still have some space left, but your most important area is this green box. We don't want to move below this green box. I already mentioned I don't really like price going to 42 because we then get to the 1.618. The 1.618 is an extension target for C. It's a little less common than these two over here, the 1 and the 1.236. It is still a target for a wave C, but we start to get very low, right? Now, if I open the boxes again, my target areas, again, you can see, right, this white box is here. This is your most important daily support at the moment. Second, 45K. And preferably, we don't get there, but 42 is still there. Right? So, in other words, preferably the white box holds. If not, 45K would be a strong area of interest. This one over here. And yeah, preferably we don't really get to 42, but we'll observe the reaction, right? Okay. Also on the daily, of course, here's your support resistance area again. And here's the value area high again, right? So it's great. It's awesome, an awesome area of support. And since we hit this support, we had a move of 17%, almost 18%. It's pretty insane, right? Pretty insane. Okay. That being said, we zoom in to this last leg to the downside. Okay, so we've covered the weekly. No? We have covered the daily. Let me ask you a question. No, wait. I'm gonna be ahead of. I'm gonna show you, but I'm not gonna put it on the chart. I just want to at least plant the seed. So of course, a three-wave ABC is your bullish scenario, right? After ABC, we want to see continuation to the upside, right? Which is this scenario here. Your bearish scenario remains most bearish, a wave 1, 2, big move down, low probabilities. I'm just showing this to be complete because an Elliott wave analyst always needs to show a bullish and bearish scenario. But this one is low probabilities because the 886 is touched here, and the 886 is rare for wave 2, common for B or X. Any move down, higher probability it is wave C or Y, increasing the probabilities to sooner or later turn around and move back up. Okay, so this one, low probabilities compared to the bullish scenario. Just to plant the seed, if we do this locally, your final bearish, because bullish scenario is going to be continuation, your final bearish scenario will be W, X, Y, with then a zigzag in Y. Just to plant the seed. It might be confusing for some, but in the future, this, if we do move up, it will be in more detail, which will be a flat, complex in X, and then a zigzag in a wave Y, right? That is your final bearish scenario if you do get a bigger 3-wave to the upside here. I might be a bit early. I might confuse people, but at least this is how counts evolve, right? So we look at the ABC. Now, if we do get then a bigger move towards the upside locally, then the ABC is going to be your bullish scenario where we look for 1, 2 continuation. Your bearish scenario becomes W, X, Y, and then continuation. Right? You always need 2 scenarios. Anyway, hopefully, if I do confuse someone, make sure to put a question in chat, because we will go into chatting and Q&A after the analysis. Truncated waves are very rare, never preferred, unless all of the other scenarios fail. They will never get the highest probability. So that is why, unless all of the other structures and all the other scenarios fail, a truncation is not considered. Right? Only when all the others fail is a truncation considered, because it is so rare. Okay. So let me get the 1 hour scenarios here. We also have important support to the downside here, which I will cover in a second. Because in the bullish scenario on the daily, we are looking for this wave C. Now, a C wave is a 5-wave impulsive structure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave structure. This move towards the downside, right, can be counted very bullish, where we have a finished impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave structure. In this case, wave 5 is pretty much your extended wave, has the highest amount of volume, which is something that you do like to see in a wave C, ending on a high amount of volume. It's not uncommon for C. It's quite common for a wave C to have the highest amount of volume in the end of your wave, and then look for a bigger reversal towards the upside, right? So this is, of course, your most bullish scenario, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your alternative is a bearish scenario where we are working on a wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5. As I mentioned in silver, I believe yesterday morning, we do have to keep in mind the time between wave 2 and wave 4. You can see that this wave 4 starts to be quite long in time compared to wave 2. It didn't cross any boundaries yet. It's not like 6 times longer, but it is at least something that we have to keep an eye on. If price does move towards the upside, the invalidation for wave 4 is the 0.618, 49.2K, increasing the probabilities for a finished 5-wave structure over here. In other words, the bull scenario. No? And if you want to be very sure, just take a fib from this high over here to the low, toggle on this 618, so it's a little bit higher, 60K. The moment you hit 60K, you have more confirmation that the low here is a finished structure, and you look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finito, and a bigger retracement up. Okay, and then we go to the 15-minute. This can be removed, by the way, because we had a push to the upside. So locally, right? your most important support here, right? We're going to cover this scenario in a second, but let me open my levels so you know what we're looking for. We have some resistance to the upside, as you can see, daily naked point of control. That is your most important resistance to the upside, right? 58.9. Your most important support is the 40 or 52.9K level, right? Yeah, we have a daily here at 40. Wow, what do I have with the 40? 54K, right? But 52.9 is your most important area of support, also in confluence with the golden pocket. If I take a Fibonacci from the low here to 1 second, let me toggle on the Fibonacci. There we go, right? So you can see that with the current high, the 618 is at the low of the box. If we do hit 58.9, which would be nice at some point, you can see the golden pocket is fully in confluence with that support area. The golden pocket is important. Daily naked point of control, also important. We have a little bit of liquidity here as well. If I go to a 30-minute time frame, possibly we even have a bit of a gap going on here as well. So your most important local support is 52.9K. Small little bit support is 54 and 51.4K, but the most important one is pretty much around 52.9 to 52.3K, right, to the downside. Most important resistance, 58.9 to 59, well, pretty much 60K. No? Okay. So what are we looking for? I will answer stuff in chat in a second. Let me actually pull a volume profile here to see what the volume profile is doing. Have a look, have a look. Okay, interesting. So this latest move to the upside, the most traded area from the low back up, right? So the most traded area or the most volume in this box has been traded at 56.8K. So we are currently below this level, meaning that that red line there, which is 56.8K, 56.9K, is now important resistance. You do have some support at 54.6. Is that in confluence with the daily? No, daily a little lower. And then you have the value area low. Oh, I like it. Wait, I got to add this. Okay, a little bit of extra confluence at that same level, right? So it just adds to the importance of this blue box here. So the most important area of support is the one down here. Okay. So locally, this move to the upside has been a very slow grind, clearly, because it's taking ages for price to move a little bit up and a little bit down and a little bit up again and a little bit down again. Of course, we always need a bullish and a bearish scenario. The highest probability bullish scenario is a diagonal. Now, of course, potentially we have over here then your A, B, C finished, 5 finished and done. You know? But that is a diagonal to the upside. Now let me remove the clutter here so that we only focus on the scenario that we have in front of us. We almost took this low. If we take this low, it confirms more a wave 5 pivot here. But a leading diagonal to the upside. Wave 4 can be an expanding flat, not in a diagonal. So here we then have a leading diagonal where all of the waves are 3-wave zigzag family structures, right? And the zigzag family contains 3 patterns: a zigzag, a 5-3-5 ABC, a double zigzag, which is an ABC zigzag, correction in X, and another ABC zigzag, also known as a WXY sharp. And we have a triple zigzag, which is a W, X, Y, X, Z, right? Zigzags in W, Y, and Z. Very rare. Now, in this case, we then have a zigzag up in our wave 1. And because wave 1 then is a 3-wave structure, wave 3 and wave 5 also have to be a 3-wave structure. So we have A, B, C in 1, corrective structure in 2. Wave 2 and wave 4 always have to be zigzag structures, zigzag family structures. So 3-wave in 2. Now this structure to the upside here is counted as a WXY, a double zigzag. W, X, and then you have your wave Y, right? Then we have 4, 5. Your only alternative to this really is to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more high in 5 just to reach 58.9K, because that's your most important resistance to the upside, right? So therefore it's an interesting area of resistance. The only thing we have done at the moment is just a very simple support resistance flip here. That's all we have done at the moment, but the most interesting resistance would be 58.9K, really. But and a diagonal can always be extended, of course, so it depends a bit on local price action. We are eventually looking for a retracement, right? We were looking for that yesterday, as someone commented on the video as well, completely clueless. Of course, we had a final push up, the title of the video earlier today. And after this push up, we are now retracing. No surprise. Now we do have 58.9K, of course, as interesting resistance. So if we do move up, the diagonal can be extended. But we'll see. We'll see. For now, probabilities are playing out. We indeed get our move to the downside. What can we say? Now, in this scenario, let me get rid of this one. We are counting this diagonal to the upside as a wave 1. We then look for a 2, and then eventually continuation to the upside in a wave 3. Most bullish, because a wave 3 should be a big impulse to the upside. Now, based on what I said earlier on the daily time frame, the little planted seed that I gave you, this is your bearish, right? A, B, C, and then you go down again. But in both cases, it's a 5, 3, 5-wave structure. Most important support, that area down here. If price moves to the downside, we want it to move to the downside as a corrective structure, meaning a zigzag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, retracement, right? And then back up. That's one corrective structure. Of course, we can have a flat 3-wave A, 3-wave B, 5-wave C, find support, continuation up. That means that this high is a fake top, right, as I like to call it. And then you get an impulse C down and then continuation. You can also have WXY and other structures, but a zigzag and a flat are most common, right? So a 5, 3, 5 or A, B, C. These two are most common. What we don't want to see is a strong impulse to the downside, right? A very strong structure being a wave 1, 2, and then a very big wave 3, 4, and another leg down in 5. That's not what we're looking for. We want to see 3-wave structures. Preferably, of course, this important support locally also holds. If this support fails, it's a bit of a... it starts to reduce the probabilities for the bulls, right? Yeah, we have one more line below at 51.4, but preferably you don't really get down there. Okay. So bullish scenario, this one here, highest probability bullish scenario. Of course, there's an even more bullish scenario. That's what you see here. Very low probabilities now because we touched the 886 here. And besides, this one never had the highest probabilities really. So yeah, this one would be the highest probability scenario. And then looking for either a zigzag corrective structure or a flat A, B, C. Again, most important resistance, 58.9. Most important support, 50, take the average, 52.5 in the middle. But this box over here, okay? Those are the two main areas up and down. Of course, as an Elliott wave analyst, you always also need a bearish scenario. And the bearish scenario here is, to be honest, actually quite tricky. Let me explain why. At the moment, the bullish scenario has a high probability. I do like, by the way, with regards to the scenario, right, and the support, the most important support locally. If price eventually gets a retracement and we look for a zigzag 535, or we see the flat, which would be very nice actually, ABC, by all means, I'm a reactive trader, everyone trades differently, but I want to see proof of support. So the moment we get down, right, to one of the support levels, but this is most important support, what I like to see is impulsive structures to the upside. Right, so market structure up, either a impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, retracement, continuation, leading diagonal, right, or multi 1, 2. I like to see bullish CVD divergences, market structure change, right, maybe flipping resistance in support. I want to see some stuff before I join in the market, because it's probabilities, right? We have a highest probability scenario identified. But the moment we get down, I want to see confirmation, because don't forget, if you zoom out, we are doing this and absolutely nothing changes, right? We haven't really changed the market structure. I am very interested in looking for price to move up, right? But for a new position, I like to see signs of strength, signs of support, which includes CVD and all of the other tools that I like to use. I can also actually show you an example of, and of course the people in the setups channel will know, but I did not trade this low. I entered my long later. I entered my longs over here, right? Because that is where I started to get confirmation of, okay, looking for price to move towards the upside. Didn't take it here, right? I took it here. Right? Same at the 56K low. I did not trade it this low here, but I did enter here, which is still quite low. But this is where, from an Elliott wave point of view, things started to change. Grind to the upside, some nice bullish CVDs, market structure, the Elliott wave probabilities were changing to bullish. That's when I started to get interesting, right? So I'm a very patient trader. I wait for price to show me signs of strength, and then I join. Right? Of course, everyone trades differently. Some people may use completely different tools. But I have my set of tools, and it works very nice for me. Now, with regards, of course, to the bearish scenario, as you always need a bearish one, it's quite tricky to count a high probability bearish scenario in here. And as explained, or as mentioned earlier, I'll explain why. So there are 4 bearish structures in Elliott waves summarized: the zigzags, the flats, WXY, a sideways double combo, and the triangles. Now we can already stop talking about triangles, because obviously this is not a triangle. So we scrap the triangle. Then we have a flat. A flat is a 3-wave in A, a 3-wave in B, and then a 5-wave C. The minimum target for a wave B is the 0.9. That's what you want to see. Minimum. Right? Minimum. However, at no moment in time did price actually hit the 0.9. On my chart, as you can see, we just missed out on hitting that 0.9. And therefore, it's not really a scenario that we're looking at, because it didn't hit the minimum requirement, being the 0.9. Then we have a WXY. Now, a sideways WXY, right, is preferably WXY. It is a ranging structure, preferably a little bit against the trend, but you do like to see a bit of a deeper retracement in a wave X, preferably hitting at least a golden pocket, 786, 886. But clearly, we never really got a deep retracement to the downside so far. We have just been grinding to the upside. So even a sideways WXY becomes a bit of a problem. And this then leaves us with the zigzag family. So if counting anything bearish here, Preferably, we're looking for a simple zigzag, a double zigzag, or a triple zigzag, right? A triple zigzag is very rare, never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails, which basically means we have two scenarios. We have a simple zigzag and we have a double zigzag. A simple zigzag is a 5, 3, 5, and then you continue to the downside. Let's check. If we want to count a 5-wave impulse to the upside here, the only option we have is a diagonal. Because of the overlap, if we want to count a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 1 and your wave 4 overlap. That's not allowed in an impulse, which means we need to think of a diagonal. So in that case, your diagonal is your wave A, right? Okay. Then we need a wave B. My lines. Okay, so then we need a wave B. Now the most common target for a wave B is between the 0.382 and the, where's my wave B? And the 886, right? So basically any of these fibs. A little bit of a problem here is that we actually never reach this target area, right? So wave A has to be a 5-wave structure, which we can end here. Of course, we can end wave A here and then B and then try to count this as a C, but it doesn't work like this, right? Look how big your C would be compared to your one little A, right? We also can't finish wave A over here because then wave A is a 3-wave structure. It's not allowed to be a 3-wave structure in a zigzag, right? So we need to end wave A over here, or maybe here, right? Or maybe here. It doesn't matter because in all cases we didn't retrace. We didn't retrace to the 0.382, which is a minimum target actually for a wave B. Now in very rare occasions, and I want to highlight the fact very rare, the 0.236 can act as support for a wave B. But it is one of these things that, you know, it's typically also, again, it's never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails, right? Same with expanding diagonals and expanding triangles. It's never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails, right? So, yeah. But if you do want to finish B, this would be your finish B. But then you need to look for a wave C. Now, not forget, your A is a diagonal in this case. But if you look at your wave C, if we would count this as the end of B, look at your wave C, right? This is not an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So much overlap. Again, we have to think about a diagonal here. But a diagonal in wave A and a diagonal in wave C, like Stuba also mentioned when writing his thoughts earlier, is incredibly rare, right? Like diagonal guys, diagonals are not even that common, right? Yeah, sure, you can have a leading diagonal. Ending diagonals, by the way, are more common than leading diagonals. But having a diagonal in A and C is very low probabilities, right? Very low probabilities. So it's a little bit awkward, in other words, to count an ABC finished, right? With the current price action that we have on the chart. So what would be preferred is then a double combo or a bigger ABC, where your wave A becomes the diagonal. You look for a deeper B. B can be any corrective structure, right? Can be zigzags, can be flats, can be triangles, can be WXY, doesn't matter. And then a wave C. The problem here is that if you get another B and another C, this structure is going to take too long compared to your wave 2. So in other words, preferably, if we get a retracement down, we have a finished bearish 3-wave corrective structure to the upside here, and we look for a new low instead of seeing a bigger 3-waver, right? Okay. or at least if you do get A, B, and C, it's not going to be part of an impulse down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to be looking for this to be a wave 4 anymore, right? We're then going to be looking for this being a finished impulse in a wave A. This is going to be your C, and then you get a, or B, and then a C down, right? In the bigger WXY on the daily, which I mentioned earlier. Short intermezzo for the people that just joined. This might have gone very, very quick, but this will be your new bearish scenario. If you get that retracement in B, you move up in C, your bearish is another leg, okay? But it's not yet relevant. We don't yet have that price action, that information. We're ahead of, ahead of schedule, I suppose. So an ABC to the upside that is finishing somewhere over here is not great probabilities. No, it's not cool. So triangle irrelevant, WXY low probabilities, flat irrelevant, zigzag. Okay, it doesn't really work. No, then we do double zigzag. Single zigzag, low probabilities. Low probabilities. So then we have the double zigzag. A double zigzag is a WXY. But this time it's a sharp WXY. So not a sideways WXY, right? Where you want wave X to go deep. It's a sharp one where you want to see a shallow wave X. Shallow meaning preferably the 382 to the 05. Most commonly, maximum would be golden pocket-ish, right? But you don't mind a shallow wave X in this particular scenario. So then we finally have the final scenario I'm going to talk about, and then I'll shut up for a little bit and talk with chat. And I agree, by the way. I look to my right, I see Hoshi's message. That is very important. The moment price is moving up, people very, very quickly switch, bullish, right? And yes, there are probabilities on the weekly, bullish, on the daily, bullish, right? And local price action has a lot of overlap, but you can't only be bullish, right? You always need bearish scenarios in Elliott waves and then know the probabilities, right? Generally most difficult for new accountants. Anyway, WXY. So we have our 3-wave to the upside. Wave W needs to be a zigzag, and wave Y also needs to be a zigzag structure, right? So wave W needs to be a 535. So how do we do this? We have a W here. We then need an X. Well, I can put my X here, right? This is a little bit of like live analysis and educational at the same time, I suppose. Of course, I can put my wave X down here, but then I need a zigzag in Y, which then means I have to do 5, 3, 5. There's no other option. This 3 then becomes a flat, and your wave C is an expanding diagonal, very rare, never preferred unless all the other stuff fails. So in other words, it's not great to count this a 5, 3, 5 with an ending diagonal in a wave C. It's not too great. So what I would prefer to do here would then be move your X to the right. It's a little bit of a pain, even in this scenario, counting a WXY. But then you have a bit of a bigger flat, still an expanding wave C here, which is a pain. But at least your wave Y is a better 5, 3, structure, 5, 3, 5. It's one of these. In other words, we can't make it anything else. But as you can see, it's not pretty. No, it's not pretty. It's a very difficult to count bearish structure. But an ABC has low probabilities, so we have to go towards WXYs or even a WXY XZ, but that's very rare. So WXY, either X here or X there, and then preferably we're looking, of course, for a high in wave Y, either in or one more high, 52.9. Yeah. Of course, you have a WXY XZ, WXY, and then you have your X and then your Z, but a WXY XZ is very rare. So, but because, even though counting this move up correctively is very difficult, and the probabilities at the moment would be higher for a diagonal structure, right? In a 5-wave move, look for a retracement and then another leg up. Even though it is difficult here to count a nice 3-wave corrective structure following the Elliott wave rules nicely, right? And really give a high probability bearish scenario. We can never forget about it. And that is why I mentioned the most important support is the level down here that I mentioned earlier, right? Between a 52, or pretty much 53K and 52.3. And what I mentioned is that if price moves down, I wait for signs of strength, right? I'm not here to catch knives. I'm not here to catch bottoms. I try to catch that middle part of the move, right? That's more like my way of trading. So if we get down here, I want to see signs of strength. I want local probabilities to change bullish. Give me some bullish CVDs and all that stuff. Because even though probabilities aren't that great for this being a nice corrective structure, we have to always be aware of the bigger trend, which hasn't changed, by the way, right? And if we do get a very big move to the downside here and we lose the support, right? If we do not see signs of strength here, why should I be interested? No? Because we're going to be looking for a new low. So your most important support locally is very, very clear, right? What we're looking for is very clear. Yes, a diagonal has a higher probability compared to a bearish scenario, as the bearish scenarios are very tricky to count here, following the Elliott wave rules. But we cannot forget about them. We cannot be like, oh, we made a low, we got a 17% bounce, we're going to all-time highs and 100K next, and you know the Moon Boys are probably already talking about 1 million. Huh? Right? So patience, plan. Oh, I should actually make like an acronym, like a model. Patience, plan, and then another word for like execution, I suppose. But probabilities, patience, plan. Give me more P's. Nice. So that is what we're looking for locally, right? So the probabilities remain higher locally to look for a retracement. Nothing changed. Last night, I posted a video where I already said, what was the thumbnail? I don't know, something like looking for a move down. This morning, when price was ranging here, the thumbnail said one more push up. Very nice. Of course, I also mentioned 58.9, but we didn't reach it. But we at least have our move to the downside here, a small move. Preferably still looking actually for a bit of a bigger move, but 58.9, I mean, that's important resistance, but by all means, the probabilities are higher to still look for a bigger retracement. And mind you, that a corrective structure can of course be any pattern, right? Zigzag 535, flat ABC, right? Which would be very attractive. But yeah, so that's that. Probability, patience, plan, perform. Oh, nice. I like that. Yeah, nice one. Nice one. Precaution. Look at everyone thinking. Probability, precaution. We need one more P. So, okay, after a very long story, we get to the probabilities and finally your most important areas of support, as that is what the thumbnail is. So that is of course an important focus. On the weekly time frame, highest probability, bullish scenario, most important area of support is the yellow box you see on my chart, right? This is the area of interest to look for a move up in 5. However, because this area is so incredibly big, I like to look for additional areas of support, and we have two big ones. First one, 49.1, 49.7. We've hit this one, right? Important. And then the next most important, 44.3, 45.2. Small one at 42, but we'll see. Let's first wait and see what we get locally, right? So, okay. Daily time frame, highest probability scenario from an Elliott wave point of view is looking for the ABC, where your most important area of support is the green box, 52.6, 41.9, right? Inside this green box, we have the same levels I mentioned earlier, okay? So this white box here, 49, 45, 42, okay? most important areas. And then locally on the 15, currently as it stands, highest probability would be a diagonal, right? Where we are looking for 5, 3, and at least another 5. But we are aware that we want to see proof of support locally before considering bigger moves up, because on the 1 hour we're still very much in a downtrend. And the most important support here is this blue box between 53k and 52.3k, and your most important resistance is 58.8, 59.9. Et voila. So let's go into chatting and Q&A. Wow, that was actually a very long analysis, but that's also because there was a lot of education in this video. When did we start? We started like minute 14. Yeah, I'm sweating like a pig, yo. I'm gonna take a dip in the ocean after the live stream. Let me tell you. Oh, by the way, for the ones that are interested, two things. One is today been working a lot on the CVD template, being in touch with Mr. Friends. We are literally on the edge of like getting it out there. I have already shared it with the Diamond members and the Setups channel people. So the people that are in the Setups channel, see the first link below. So a private share, just to check, is everything working for those people? So it's a smaller audience, and if something is wrong with the template or something's not working, then we can fix it before, you know what I mean? We are still live, right? Okay, yeah. So I posted it in Diamond and the Setups members, because, and I don't know if Mr. Friends is watching because he's going on holiday, but sometimes the template, let's see if this happens. You see that? So there's like a freeze. Now the template works perfectly fine, right? So you can see the dotted line, and you can see the check marks and question marks. The chart is loading as well. It's moving, the price is moving, but you can see that if I move my cursor, it sometimes lags for, look. Okay, that was one, right? It's almost like I'm fishing here. So up, there we go, another one. So I asked people when I shared the template, yo guys, I don't know if this is something that's only for me, because at first I was the only one that tested the template. I don't know if it's my internet, right? So I shared privately, and tell me, do you experience that problem as well, that it's lagging? And in the Setups channel, there is an additional 5 people that do have that problem, 4 people that don't, actually. And in Diamond, there are... Oh, Mr. Friends is already chatting in Diamond. So he's probably going to be working on it. He's going to look into it. But so there's a few people that experience the same. I have no problem the cursor being a little like behind my mouse, because I'm on Wi-Fi. So, and I moved houses, and I'm in my office. I got a Wi-Fi repeater here, testing it for the first time with this live stream. So, happens. But it's these bigger lags. So I'm going to wait shortly for Mr. Friends to see if maybe he can fix it. He says it's probably a small thing. If he can't fix it before his holiday, because I don't want to bother him during his holiday, right? He's going to go out with his probably family for 5 days. I don't want him to work during those 5 days. He should chill and relax. So if he is not able to do this quickly, then the template will go out. You might have to endure these small lags. The template works, right? It works. There's no problems with the template. The CVD works and everything works, but it's the spikes, and it's probably related to like like something code related. So yeah, maybe it's Chrome as well. I see that someone, Perkio, is using it in Edge and he doesn't have issues. So we got to wait and see. But yeah, when am I covering this? 1:08. Let me put this in my phone so that I can send the VOD of this live stream to Mr. Friends. 1:08 CVD lag check. Okay. I have no lags. Okay, Reezy. Interesting. The template will be free. Yes, I have already written my post. I pretty much got everything ready. Need to press enter. It's just that we got the lag thing. So like pretty much everything on the channel. Of course, I have memberships, but also this, of course, will be absolutely free. It will be out there. What I do ask is if people want to support the channel by registering with one of the exchange links, the partner links, which is completely free. It supports the channel a little bit, but it's very much appreciated. And it's very easy to do. And I'm creating a goodie bag for people that then support the channel. And it includes then the CVD template, and people get access to the setups channel. And we're working on some stuff in the background that I will also put in the goodie bag. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, quite nice. Okay. And the number 2 point, I am active again on Instagram. Okay. So let me show you. So this is important. The only official channels are the ones, like social media channels, are the ones that I have in my description or in Discord, right? There is no other whatever, because there's many scammers out there, and the bigger the channel comes, the more scammers we're gonna have. It's just the way it is in this industry, which is a pain in the ass, but you know, it's what happens. So just so you know, I'm trying to actually go to my I'm actually trying to go out of my personal Instagram and go to my koenztrading Instagram. Hello. Doesn't matter. I can just do this. Okay, coming. Plop, plop, plop. So, of course, I have a few posts. These are pretty old. I will put on posts again. I just moved to another country. I now live in the south of France. You know, and everything is new for me. And I hope to take you on my journey in the south of France, and then of course my live and other stuff. And I will upload photos and stuff as well. But for now, at the moment, I just have stories running here, and these are the most recent ones from today, where I was putting my desk in. And also yesterday, or no, what was it? Yeah, I think yesterday, showing pictures of we were in Monaco last night. Which was great, and we had dinner there at Amazonico, which is a great restaurant, and it is right next to Casino Square. So for the ones that know Monaco, right, or the Formula 1 Grand Prix Turn 3 Casino, right, we were literally in the restaurant with a view looking over Casino Square. It's a great place. Amazonico, really cool. And yeah, we took pictures and stuff, and I will upload them as a post. But yeah, I'm active there again, so if you're interested, make sure to check it out. And the link is in the description. Don't try to find me using the search function, because there's chance you'll find like some random shit from probably another country trying to scam your ass. So FYI. Okay, that being said, let me quickly scroll up. And go through this very quickly. This is where maybe a band-aid, man. What's happening? You survived the hurricane and you found some pocket money somewhere. It's the second time now. First of all, cheers for being a member here for 4 months. Now you still have the golden badge. It's gonna be green in 2 months. That's when you have the green one. And also thanks for the gift, man. Errol, make sure to register using the membership form and put on silver because you received a bronze membership, but I'll bump you up to silver because it is a gift from the community, in this case maybe a band-aid, so make sure to thank him. Okay, can you explain your reason to believe this is a wave 4 and Bitcoin instead of another one too? Yes, shortly, because there's a big chat. So do I have a double 1-2 scenario in my folders? Yes. The thing is, there's no point really in talking about a double 1-2 as long as you don't break out. A double 1-2 is incredibly bullish, right? 1-2-1-2, you are going to be looking for easily 200K, 300K, if not more, because you're looking for a big wave 3 and then a 4-5-4-5. But in my opinion, it doesn't really yet make too much sense to talk about that being so bullish while price is ranging for this long and hasn't taken all-time high yet. I don't like to be in the extremes. I don't like to be incredibly bullish and incredibly bearish. I read the chart. And the moment price breaks out, right? The moment price breaks out here and we get a move up, that is when I observe what's coming next. Because if we are looking for a double 1-2, which one was it? Not that one. If we're looking for a double 1-2, we are looking for a very big wave 3, right? We should easily push to higher levels. We don't want to see price range quite early around 100K, and what we don't want to see those big ranges, right? We want to do this, boom. And in the less bullish scenario, you still expect all-time highs, but you want to see price range over here, right? So in other words, instead of showing both of these scenarios, a double 1-2 and this scenario here, a 4-5, I prefer to show this one. Also, by the way, because the length of this range is now quite similar to the length of this wave 2. And if we are looking for a double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and a bigger 3, preferably your second wave 1 is a little bit shorter than your first wave 1, and your second wave 2 is a little bit shorter than your second wave 2. Now, arguably, you can say, but hey, if this is low, it's a little bit shorter. It's just before the 1-to-1, of course. It's pretty much the same amount of time. And if we take a trend-based fib from the high to the low, or the low to the high of 1 to the low of 2, toggle on the 1-to-1, then you can see that the second wave 1 is also longer than your first wave 1. Let's see if it's the same, by the way, on linear, even on linear. So that is something to consider. So I prefer, therefore, looking at this. Another reason is that a wave 4 of a higher degree likes to retrace to the price action of wave 4 of a lower degree, which it has also done over here. So for now, that is the highest probability scenario that I'm looking at. But the difference and the moment the double 1-2 is going to appear in my content again is once we take the high. If we take the all-time high in a wave 3, 1-2, 1-2, big 3, this here should be absolutely peanuts, right? It shouldn't even be a target. You don't want price to range here for months. You just want to go boom, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, boom, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, boom, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, boom, right? That's what you're looking for, not the big sideways ranges, which in this scenario, you want to see price top out, bigger retracement, ta-ta, boom. Right? That's what you're looking for. A bigger retracement, of course, not all the way down. Don't look at the length of my squiggly line, but that's pretty much what you're looking for, right? Ta-ta-ta-ta, and then a 3-wave corrective structure down. So that is the why. 32, 25. I'm not sure what the 32.25 means. Gotta go quick. Don't you think on daily we only have 3 waves for C from 70K? We can count a 5-wave structure, but an extended 5 is, of course, less common than an extended 3, right? But we can count a 5-waver in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, right? Then we have our 2 price action over here. No? And then arguably 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Oh, sorry. What am I saying here? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So there is a way to end it. Is it nice? Most commonly, of course, most commonly when talking about impulses, your wave 3, right, is your highest volume wave, which arguably would then lead to this. 3, 4, another move down in 5. Very attractive, will probably fake out many people, right? Going deeper into the mid 40s, we have important support at 45, right? That is already identified. Preferably we don't hit 60K, would invalidate a wave 4. Very interesting, absolutely, right? And that is why in the past couple of videos, I don't really tend to talk much about the 1 hour. I prefer talking about the daily, because on the daily, things are a lot more simple, right? The 1 hour is a bit tricky, but on the daily, it's very clear. Area of support, done, right? And in this area of support, we have area 1 that is touched, area 2, 45K, area 3 is 42K, right? With very clear levels. 45 is very interesting. But what I prefer to look at now is the local structure here on the 15-minute time frame. Observe what happens here, and the 1 hour is something I don't really like to look at the moment. But yes, we most commonly wave 3 ends on high volume, and then we have 4 and a 5. So we still absolutely have, of course, probabilities of this being a 4 and a wave 5. But then we want to lose that important support locally, of course. No? So and the alternative, not to forget, if we do get a move up here, right? Your alternative is going to be W, X, and then Y, A, B, C, up. Right? From a psychology point of view, I gotta say, like, a lot of what we were thinking about from a psychology point of view pretty much like happened. So it's difficult to say, like, do you from a psychology point of view, do you need another low, right? You know what I mean? So when price was moving up here, or remember when price was here even, we were talking that from a psychology point of view, it would be interesting to not take all-time high, but have a deep retracement to then move down, take the low. Okay, well, that worked out. Then we made this low here, got an impulsive move up, eventually labeled as a C. We actually didn't talk about psychology scenarios here, but moving down again was in most cases unexpected, right? In most of the community, I suppose, crypto Twitter and whatnot. So that's nice, right? Take out the low. Big swing failure pattern, by the way, on a daily time frame here. And then, of course, I like every time you get a bounce here, people are going to be bullish anyway, right? So people were bullish here, counting this as an impulse. Now, when price was moving up here, we all, like, I did countless of live streams during this move up here and videos saying, I do not like to end a corrective structure here. For the ones that were here in May, you'll know, right? It was either a 5 waver or W ending here and this being a B low, but then you would still expect to take the B low. Okay, nice. But yeah, we have a very clearly identified support area here now. And from a psychology point of view, of course, you can wreck everyone again, right? So people thinking it's low, you wreck them. People think this is the low, you bait them again, right? Everyone losing. People thinking this is the low and down again. But how long are you going to do that till eventually, oh shit, we are below 38K bear market? You know what I mean? So bull market, of course, has high probabilities. This is your main area of interest, area of support, right? Anytime price comes in this particular area, it's interesting. We've hit it once. Would be nice to see actually a retracement and hit at least a 1-to-1 another time. Absolutely potential for a bigger 3 waver, or at least, come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, or 5, 3, 5, making one more low. But from a psychology point of view, that I'm not really looking at psychology at the moment here because most of it already played out, and yeah, you can make another low, and it doesn't really change too much, really. This is your area. If we make another low, as long as we're in the green box, well, perfectly fine. If you go below 38, that's a problem. Yes, you want to hold support, of course. What if the 5 waves up for the last? Again, yeah, I answered this during the analysis. Truncations are very rare, never preferred. So you first want to invalidate any other scenario. Power Meet, welcome. Good to have you here. If you say we look for ABC, then C is again taking the last low. ABC is a zigzag. 5 wave A, 3 wave B, 5 wave C. That's a bullish or actually a bearish ABC. The ABC itself is to the upside, but then you expect this. And a ABC to the downside is a 5, 3, 5. So you always take the high or the low of A. It's very rare to get a truncated C. Never preferred, unless all of the other stuff fails. 48K, yeah, interesting. I would like 45 more than 48, really, then, if we do come down again. 4 is too short than wave 2. Not sure what time frame, of course, you talk about. On the weekly time frame, the minimum target for wave 4 would be the 382, which is reached. Now, commonly, wave 4 is longer than wave 2, which would mean ending wave 4 after the 12th of August, which, of course, we haven't reached yet. Even if this would be a low, it's almost the same time as wave 2. So, it's perfectly fine. With regards to probabilities, and locally on a 1 hour time frame, if this is your 4, of course your 4 by now is a lot longer than your wave 2. So on a 1 hour, if we're looking for 4 or 5, then it's perfectly fine. On a weekly time frame, yeah, preferably you would like wave 4 to be longer, but again, it's probabilities, and time is never a confirmation, right? It has to be, but most commonly it is. So after the 12th of August. So in that case, you would preferably make a low after the 12th of August if that's what you're looking for, right? Yeah, wave 4. Wave 4s are always tricky. The naked point of control down here at least has been tapped at 49.3. That was the area of support. 58.9 is still empty. And we still have a point of control at, what did I say, 53? That's a new one. 52.9. That's a new point of control from this day here, 5th of August. So that one is fresh as well. Rising wedge. Yeah, you can probably look at this as a pattern being a rising wedge. Lower prices is on the card. I would like to observe the move. We are eventually expecting a retracement at least, and then we can observe that retracement once we get it. Move the bottom trend line and you have a rising wedge. Yes, but a rising wedge is not a Elliott wave term. That's more like a pattern terminology. So in our case, we use a diagonal. That's the Elliott wave terminology, but then a diagonal has certain rules and guidelines that you need to use, because else you can't name it a diagonal. So a wedge is actually just the pattern, right, where we are condensing, right, contracting. But a diagonal has a set of rules, and a wedge, I mean, the only rule of a wedge is you contract, right? But a diagonal has a lot more rules, so makes Elliott waves a bit more tricky. Wait, we have Thunderin. Welcome to bronze. Thanks for your support. Thanks for supporting the channel. You now have a nice badge behind your name. Cheers, Thunderin. And appreciate it, man. You've been here recently. I'm happy to read your comments, and thanks for becoming a member, becoming bronze here. Really cool, man. Appreciate it. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I'll get to the bottom very quick. These are old messages. How can that be wave 4 in a 1 hour if it didn't retrace enough? It already retraced enough, wave 4. We are already at the 0.5 here, if this is the wave 4 you're talking about, at least. So if this is your wave 4, right, in what scenario? Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason is there's no other wave 4 possible except for this one. If you count the finished impulse at the low, this has to be a wave 4, which of course is a little bit of a pain. So because your wave 4 agreed is very short, but the only way to count this bullish with a finished low here is to have this as a wave 4, so short 2, short 4. Well, sometimes it's the way it is. But on the bearish scenario, right, this looks from an impulsive perspective like a more clean impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, bigger 4, and one more 5. But then we simply want to lose the important support that I've been talking about. So yeah, and by all means, so the lower time frames, right? The higher time frames are most clear. So I always recommend starting on the higher. The weekly and the daily, this is your area of support. Right, this is your most important area. If you come down once again for a wave 5, perfectly fine, right? 45K, very interesting. 42 would be the max, but there's enough support down here, and yeah, absolutely interesting to test. So from an impulsive point of view, right, on the 1 hour time frame, very clear. This would be a finished structure. This would be an unfinished structure, and the unfinished one has a bigger wave 4, right? Looks better with regards to retracement. It starts to be a little bit, I mean, big in time. It's still fine in time. But preferably, of course, you're going to make a high soon and really start to move down impulsively. Have this as a 4 and one more low in a 5 in that case. Getting GPU power. Yo, maybe a Band-Aid new GPU. Okay, good luck, maybe a Band-Aid. Yeah, so it's not called a wedge, and I don't change my line because I don't trade wedges. I use diagonals. Yeah, because for me, the politics don't change my counting nor my trading. But some people combine, of course, politics and fundamentals with Elliott waves, which is perfectly fine. Everyone has their own strategy. My strategy does not include it, but other people, maybe like Hoshi, do include it. Thank you, Thunderin. Leave a like. Ways of the Jedi. Koen says the greatest Elliott wave available on YouTube, also the least hypocritical when it comes to the psychological side. Yeah, you know, like whatever happens on the chart, you gotta be neutral. Of course, I like to think about psychology because Elliott waves is related to it. But from a trader's perspective, I'm always calm, always chill, always neutral. I don't care if price goes up or down. Like I don't care if we're trading at 100K or 10K. I trade the percentage. You know, I trade 1% up, down. Bitcoin is volatile. I don't care. So I'm not related to we need up. We need down. No, I just trade what the chart is giving me. I trade probabilities. I trade my plan, right? I want to see structure. I look at CVD and my SR levels. And that is then what I use to determine if I want to enter, yes or no. So you won't hear me shouting. You will never see a thumbnail on this channel where, well, never say never because you always still have April's Fools. But you won't generally see me use thumbnails like Bitcoin going to 5 million, right? Oh, Bitcoin is going to dump tonight to 30K, like all that bullshit, right? The moment you hear channels like this, just leave again, right? Just look for something else. There's also channels out there. I've seen it once where I don't know. So I don't know what the reason is for people doing this, but they use like a horn in the first 5 or 10 seconds of a video to be like dramatic, like, and you hear like, and then the guy talking, and I'm like, fuck, man. And then, I mean, in the first 10 seconds, I'm out again. Like, guys, you won't get that here, right? We're neutral, we're patient, we have a plan, we're traders, we're not gamblers. We analyze what the chart gives us, and based on our personal plan, which for everyone is different, we you know, hopefully profit from our plans and have a good life, right? So yeah, if you are a person that enjoys neutral content with probabilities, you're at the right place. If you like Moon Boys, you're not at the right place. If you like Bear Boys, you're also not at the right place. And if you like horns, you're also not at the right place. It's the man's main traded asset. Yes, I only trade Bitcoin. I don't trade anything else. If the 618 doesn't hit to invalidate wave 4, how would you long safely without FOMO? I always think the low should not grind, so CVD wouldn't work. In that case, a three-wave corrective structure. So if you don't like to use CVD, what you're looking for locally is a three-wave structure. So of course, it's still very young, right? Like a little bit of a move down. But you want to look for a three-wave structure. Zigzag flats are most common, right? So those are the ones you want to look for to begin with. So in that case, you want to see an impulse, correction, impulse. But instead of this being a wave 3 with another 4, 5, you want to see price move back up, take out this high, for example, or hit the 618, but be aware of a double 1-2. Of course, in a flat, you're looking for A, B, and then a wave C. Now, the moment we get this move down is going to be labeled either a wave C or a wave 1, and then a retracement up will be a wave 2 or a wave, a wave 2 or 1-2 continue up. But that depends, again, on then the subwave of 2. So then this move to the upside, is it corrective or is it impulsive? So we need to be patient and wait for price to show us what it does. What really helps with CVD is to actually wait for that grind, to be honest. So this move down, consistently, every single bounce we had bearish CVD divergences. Every single move. I'm not sure if my lines go far enough, else I have to go up. Oh yeah, I mean, decent. Yeah, okay, right, that works. End here. So you can see every bounce had bearish CVD, right? So that's what you like to see, at least if you're bearish, right? Same thing here, bullish CVD, right? First one, I wasn't that interested yet. Bullish CVD here, played out. Bullish CVD again, bullish CVD again. Bullish CVD again, bullish CVD again. I don't know, but I definitely like a grind to the upside supported by consistent bullish CVDs, as well as a grind to the downside with consistent bearish CVDs. Right, that's definitely also here. We had consistent bearish CVDs moving to the downside. Also here at the low, right? Not interested, but the moment we started moving up with consistent bullish CVDs, grinding on a 15-30 minute time frame, you bet your ass I was part of that move, yo. So yeah, I definitely like to see grinds, consistent bullish CVDs, and of course I look for all of my other stuff. I'm quickly refreshing my chart, by the way. So yeah. Where did yeah. In three languages. What languages do you speak, Thunderin? And let me get quicker here. I'm too long, convert bias, just chatting here. I know a lot of traders who were shorting 70K. It's curious to look a lot like Bitcoin. Yeah, Ethereum is a bit tricky. It's going to be interesting for the altcoin stream. One thing to consider is the low is not the same on all charts. Makes a diagonal one complete at the top pretty well. That's interesting. It's not the same on all charts. I should check some other Bitcoin charts. Wedge C. A is the first higher high, then B, then A is a three-wave structure. Acknowledge Kuhn's sensibility when it comes to base psychology and doesn't contradict himself like others I know. I try not to, at least. You know, want to have clarity. What's up, Gabriel? How are you doing? All the P's coming in. We need one more P. Meow Meow, wondering whether you have done any macro. Yes. Not on the BLX, but on the extended wave 3. Yeah, I have a macro analysis. I haven't changed to my the index chart. I wouldn't use BLX myself. I would then use index. However, I initially back in the day did my analysis on Bitstamp, and yes, before you guys say it, Bitstamp does not have data back to 2010, but I have done the first part of Bitcoin on the index chart, and it actually doesn't change my scenarios on Bitstamp, so that is why I never changed it. But the macro, recent macro here, this video, right? This is a video 30 minutes. I'm actually not sure if I did the monthly here. If I didn't do the monthly here, then please check the 4 weeks ago. Yeah, this is the monthly chart. So then you'll be here. Bitcoin cycle. Oh yeah, here, no. Bitcoin cycle. This is your video. This is the one you want to look for. 8 minutes, right? This is the, and the problem is on a monthly, there's, because of the curvature of Bitcoin, there's actually a couple of scenarios going on a monthly. There's many more I can think of, but I prefer to use the weekly, daily myself if I do talk high time frame. If you can learn to create a state of mind that is not affected by the market's behavior, the struggle will cease to exist. Exactly. I like that. It's almost like a quote you've read somewhere. I like that way of writing, and I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's psychology. Like, yeah, you need a plan and a strategy. That's very important. But after people have it, most people lose because of psychology related to price action. How to get CVD on the phone? You got to download the AGGR app. I have Android and I was able to do it, but I don't know if it's still on in the App Store. And if you can't download the app, then go to the AGGR website, charts.aggr.trade, and then, I don't know what phone you have, but go to whatever the settings are, the 3 dots or dots on your screen. Go to the settings of the page and then add it to your home screen, like a shortcut, like Ways of the Jedi. Analyze Solana. Solana has been analyzed in the altcoin stream here. All right, so how to get the CVD template will be shared soon. Small lag about every 4 or 5 seconds. I'm not sure if you're talking about AGGR or my stream here. Why are there 2 CVD lines? And which one is more? Both are as important, but yes, Mike, this is where your experience comes in, right? So CVD is not just it's not a signal stuff of like thing, of course. It's a tool, but you have to learn the tool. It's not like I open a template and every divergence will automatically give me a trade. So you want to use CVD in context with the others. Now, the blue and yellow CVD are as important. They're both important. And there's no preferred over the other. But the context is important and your plan is important. So if price is grinding to the upside and you see local bullish CVDs, that's important, right? So if I go to a 5-minute time frame locally, I actually now, of course, I have this bigger one. Wait, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this, let me do that. Hopefully it works. I don't actually, it doesn't matter. So what you can see, just for a second, don't look at the bigger green lines. Let me turn it off. Because I can just use my eyes. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yo, Mr. Friends, if I turn them off, my chart is fully... Okay, that's important information. So what you see here is a higher low, lower low, at support. Well, it's noteworthy, bullish CVD, right? Then price moves up and up and up, and then we get this, higher low, and we get a lower low, right? Both on yellow and on blue, right? So also here on both, perfectly fine, right? That's good, it's what we want to see. Then we look at this new low. We move up, we move down. More bullish CVD on yellow, not on blue. Played out. We are looking for price. It grinds up, up, up. I'm not interested in a second CVD with this low or this low or that low. I look at the newest one, right? So, okay, move up, move down, bullish CVD. Okay, cool, interesting, right? Pum, pum, bullish CVD, move up. And then price here comes down, but now we have some bearish CVDs, right? Which was just shown by the indicator. So we have bearish CVDs over here. Price moved down. And we hit the 886 with this low, which is not too pretty, right? Little bullish CVD here, apparently on a 15 minute. But yeah, that's one of the things I look at. But there's many other things that you'll need to learn using CVD. I do recommend to watch my CVD video, which is the most watched video on the channel, this one here, almost 30K, jeez. So everything you need to know about CVD is here. And in Discord, I also, in the Good to Know channel, have a one-pager. Come on. Pop. Here's the one-pager, right? And then the, I suppose, older template. This is without the lines. But yeah, so both of the lines are as important. You are completely free to use different lines, to change the lines, to change the platforms, to change the code. It doesn't matter for me, but I am trained myself in using these two lines. And that's the reason why I use the yellow and the blue. I know some people that have 4 lines, some people that use only 1 line. Well, it depends. But both of the lines are as important. But you got to train yourself in when is the CVD more relevant than other times, right? What is the context? What do my other tools say? What Elliott wave scenario are we in? Of course, it's a tool that works in combination with others. It's incredibly powerful, right? It's really good. It's the best indicator out there, in my opinion, period. But you still got to learn how to use it, right? On Chrome, no lags. Okay. No, it's not available for everyone yet. It will be. But I'm just checking the lags because some people do experience lags and some people don't. So if I do this, 1 second. Yeah, you see this? You saw that lag, like that spike, that freeze? And that is something, it's a bit annoying, to be honest. And some people experience it, like myself. Some other people don't, and we don't really know why. So I shared the template with the diamond members, and with the people in the setups channel. Smaller groups, check what they say, and some people experience those small freezes. Some other people don't. And when I turn the AI or the code off, then I have no problems anymore, right? Let me check that. I need to, so the timestamp I'm talking about is 1 hour 48. So Mr. Friends, you're going to watch this part. Here we go. I now turned the code off, right? So you can see I can move my mouse freely. There's no lags or freezes. Everything is running very smoothly. I turn them on, right? Bull diff, bear diff. And if I wait a second, oh, there we go. You see? So we have a leg spike there, right? It only happens with them turned on. Now I can check what happens if I turn bear diff off and only bull diff is, oh, never mind. There you go. So we have a leg. Let's see if we can create another one here. Yes. And if we turn bull diff off and bear diff on, do we get a lag? Yes or no? Of course, we can see that the dotted line of the cursor is struggling a little bit to keep up, but so far with the bear diff activated, there's interestingly enough not a lag. And if we turn them both on, right, we should get a freeze. There we go. So actually it might actually be the bull diff. And then if I turn them off again, oh wait, it's a little bit slow. That's just my internet, but there's no freezes, right? So yeah. Okay, that one is for Mr. Friends 148. Let me write that in my phone. Gotta send the VOD to him. So it's always specifically for Diamond, and it will be free for everyone else, but it is something that's always been Diamond only. And this is actually the first time I'm gonna open it to the public. And then everyone can download it, but previously it was the lines. We already actually have a template with lines for a very long time. I just started to use it quite recently because I know what I look for, so I never really use them. But I like to check it out, and it's good stuff. But it's always been actually diamond only, and no one knew about it because we always just kept it in diamond. But already for a long time we have templates with lines. But now Mr. Friends is improving some stuff, and I started checking it, and here we are. And now I asked Mr. Friends as well if I can share it, and all that stuff. So and that's all positive. But it remains like something that always comes with diamond, but it will also be shared public. But I will ask people to support the channel a bit, not becoming a member or whatever, but just registering with one of the partner links. It's also completely free, and it's very little support, but all the little bits and pieces, of course, support help the channel move forward, makes everything grow strong. So and that's all free, and so it will be free. Yeah, absolutely. And if people don't want to support, that's fine. No? Can always become diamond. I think we hit the 0.9 on index. Yeah, doesn't really change it for me. I like the Coinbase chart more than index. It hit the 0.9. I would still not count it a flat. So that's the thing. I would then preferably count this move still as a zigzag ABC. You can count as a flat, but it doesn't matter because you're still going to be talking about a W, X, and a Y. But if you talk about a flat in W, you want a deep X and then a wave Y for a sideways double combo. But clearly this structure is not sideways. So preferably we look for a sharp W, X, Y. So it doesn't really change the count. I do know like counting on index is nice, but the volume on index is not nice. And I do use volume as well. And I like Coinbase. I'm using it for a long time with reason. But I know about index, and index is nice. Yeah. Oh, we are loading all the holy moly. Oh my. I'm so Is the weekly scenario with the bigger wave 3 in yellow already invalidated because we have broken a red line? Oh yeah. Weekly time frame. I'm gonna be mega speedy here because I'm running behind on chat like big time. So what he's talking about, Christian, I promised I would show him, is where is it? This scenario now doesn't have great probabilities. First of all, the 0.618 is touched, right? But of course, I haven't showed this for a long time, and the reason is that your wave 4 started to get too long to look for a wave 5. It moved out of the base channel as well, right? Base channel taken from low to high, doesn't even matter what high. You broke the base channel, so it's not what you like to see. So actually, this one is now officially invalidated, so you can remove it. Okay, single digits on the fear and greed index would be very nice indeed. When I say it, is there a rule that wave 5 should reach the 0.618? No. There's 3 ways to calculate a target for wave 5. The 0.618 can be taken from the low of 1 to the high of 3 to the low of 4, and it's one of the 3 targets. 58.9 off table from the recent dip. Still important resistance, but we continue to observe, of course, local price action. At the moment, there's the possibility for 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more leg down in 5. If we do move up here and hit the 0.618, we create a 3-wave structure, zigzag, probabilities higher to take the high. WXYXZ on a weekly time frame, very rare, never preferred, unless everything else fails. How do Elliott waves help us on prediction? Elliott didn't even help with this tiny pump. I have no idea what you're talking about, Ty Fox, but it helped me with this tiny pump. So, if it doesn't work for you, you can better use something else, right? That's completely fine. But hey, we were looking for a nice little bounce, no? So, yeah, there you go. no problemo. And of course, eventually now we're starting to look for retracement. So might want to change your approach. Bitcoin can't keep moving the way it did when hardly anyone knew about it. Okay. Russian, Spanish, and English. Jeez, man. 3 languages. Found your channel yesterday, best Elliott wave in all YouTube. Cheers, Fenderin. Thank you, man. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, welcome to the channel. And welcome as a member as well. Cheers, man. Thanks for your support. It's my savings. Should be available, well, preferably today. But I wonder if Mr. Friends can find the bug or the freeze. But I'll send a VOD to him afterwards. So the sooner I close, the sooner it's probably fixed. So the goal was today. Like earlier today, I wrote in Bitcoin. Someone asked me a question. I said today. No, that's the goal. But when I put it out there, I want to make sure that not like 50% of the people have freezes. So Ben, yeah. So the reason I stand is because when I'm standing, it's just I have more energy. And I can move, right? I can move left, right, and I'm a speaker. You know, I'm a global keynote speaker as well. So for the people that don't know me, so I'm a global keynote speaker as well for 7 years now, and yeah, you know, if you're interested, just inquire. But yeah, and as a speaker, when I speak for an audience, which you are, I like to stand. I also think it's a form of respect instead of sitting. I like to stand. It's energy management. I like it. I can move around, you know, I have space. It's some, yeah, those are some of the reasons. I just like to move when I speak in front of people. I never like to sit. Are there any horizontal supports? Yes. Targets. Oh. So most important support, 52.3, 53K. Make sure to check the analysis so you actually know why as well. Most important resistance, 58.9 to 60K. Of course, there's support here. You know, it's important, but the one below, most important, 45, like this one is very important, of course. But then if you lose 45.2, 44.3 is your next most important one there. But locally, this is your area of support. Can you count the start of an impulse kernel in the 5 minute looking as 4 finished? On the 5 minute, I'm not really I'm not someone that likes to go to 5 minute charts. It's too low time frame for me. It's something for scalpers. John will maybe be able to give you an answer for this. But did we hit the 886? We just missed out on the 886, so that is something. If this is a wave 2, then we definitely want to change it. The low was made on the 6 fib time, this low here, which makes this quite a long corrective structure. But I mean, if we look at the 5, arguably we got a 3-wave move down here. Increases the probabilities to range, but the fact that this is 6 times longer than this move to the upside is not really helping probabilities to start a 1, 2, and a 3. From an Elliott wave point of view, you know, you would actually be looking for price to take the lows. But I don't like to do analysis on 3 minute, 5 minute. It's too low time frame for me. 15 minute is as low as I like to go, which already, by the way, is very low. Also from Elliott wave point of view, because of course a lot changes every time. My list of people I actually watch gets smaller the longer Yes, I had the same. At the beginning, I watched many channels, but the reason is at the beginning, you're completely clueless. You have no clue, you have no clue. Your analysis is shit. You don't know how to trade. You don't know what to trade. You don't know risk management. You don't know anything. But the longer you're in this game, the more experience you have, the better, or the better a plan you have. So the more experience, the longer you're in the market, if you have, or at least create a plan, you start to slowly trust yourself more and more and more and more, and you're actually going to ditch most of the channels that you are watching, because then you realize, I actually trust myself now, and then you only have like 1, 2, maybe 3, channels that you might keep an eye on, but that's it. But eventually, myself, I don't watch any other Elliott Wave analysts because it's just confusing. So it's just distracting. I do have trading related channels, but it's more channels talking psychology or plan, or it's not, I don't watch, and even there, I haven't watched a trading related video on YouTube for months now. I don't really watch trading stuff. I watch Formula One and I watch Trackmania, and I used to be a professional gamer in Trackmania, so I like to watch that sort of stuff, other stuff. Elliott Wave applied to liquid markets. I mean, for me, it's applied to psychology and shit coins, right? Depends on what a shit coin is, but most of the altcoins can be absolutely analyzed with Elliott Waves. But if a coin is very new, you first want to have structure. You need to wait for some structure if something is very new, and then you can put Elliott Wave analysis on it. Trade for a living is what we like to hear. What do you think about BTC DXY correlation? Yeah, I don't use DXY, so I never really care about it. It's a good question, Son Revised, because of course some people do analyze BTC DXY, but I only focus on Bitcoin. It gives me all the information I need. So and of course BTC DXY does have a correlation. So if the question is it correlated, then the answer would be yes, because of course the dollar is correlated to Bitcoin. In the end, it's Bitcoin USD or USDT that you're trading. So it's related to the dollar. Yeah. Adam. Yeah, Rudy. That is learning Elliott Waves for you, right? Wait. Maybe we can find like road to success image. What's that? I literally get a road. Where is? Maybe I have to do path. Yeah, here you go. This. Elliott Waves is not that. Elliott Waves is this. Boom, 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 boom. It's so typical and it's so true. I quit using Elliott Waves or doing anything with Elliott Waves for 2 months in the end of my first year because I got so frustrated with Elliott Waves that I gave up for 2 months and then I came back again. So yeah, this is also a nice one, right? Like before you get good in anything, resistance, failure, dedication, hard work, and studying and hours and time and whatnot. Like what people see on YouTube, what you guys look like when I do my analysis, you see the top of the iceberg, right? That literally what people see. That's what you see. But what no one has seen is the years of studying, trying to trade, analyzing, being wrong, losing money, winning money, break even, not understanding WXYs, giving up for 2 months. That's my package, right? At the bottom. The reason I can do what I do is because of that. And you are currently, Rudy, in exactly the same journey. So what you're writing is honestly something that I like to hear. Because if you do not experience this, something's wrong, right? There's no way you're going to just be a legend like from 0 to 100 real quick in Elliott waves. People always ask me quite often, how long did it take you? It took me 2 years to be this level, right? Now, of course, I have many more years, but after 1.5 years, I got a good grasp. Like I got really confident, but at about like 2 years, that's where I really like, okay, I get it. Like this is like, I got the whole thing, right? So it takes a long time, and some people may take 5 years, right? And other people may take a year. But I mean, if you're learning Elliott waves and you're only in it for half a year, I don't know, of course, how long you're in it, but just in general, if people think they're going to be absolute like legends in Elliott waves in half a year, you either have no work, right, going on during the day, and you put in 24/7. But even then, chances are it's too short. Too short. I'm actually curious, do you guys have spot on an exchange, or not mentioning what exchange, but do you hold spot on an exchange or on a ledger? I actually have a ledger in my room here. The CFD platform is AGGR. My trading platform is BingX and Blowfin. I'm actually using Blowfin more and more now, but using both. Can we see bottom again? Yes. I mean, there's no reason not to, but probability-wise, right, we are just looking for a retracement, and we observe the reaction at support. These type of questions are always difficult. One more high, one more. We are looking now for a retracement, and based on the retracement, we'll see what happens, right? So we have a diagonal as a bullish scenario, but a diagonal can be a 5-3-5 zigzag and then a move up as a bullish scenario. You can even have a flat. It doesn't matter, because in both cases, you're looking for a retracement. But one more high or one more low are very difficult questions, because no one has a glass ball, right? From an Elliott wave point of view, we are starting to look for a retracement. Either 5 is in and we look for 5-3-5, or we have a flat that we're looking for. And in a bearish scenario, you of course look for a retracement that eventually takes the low. Your most important support locally is this box here at around 52.5. Right, so one more high, one more low. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, because the overall probabilities are higher to look for a retracement. And what happens in the retracement is your corrective structure or your retracement can be a zigzag, can be a flat, can be a triangle, can be a WXY, can be a double zigzag, triple zigzag. Takes time, but retracement. And 58.9 is very interesting resistance, and 52.5 is interesting support. But in general, the context now is that, yeah, we start to be interested in looking for a move down, but one more high or not, the chart will tell us. The time step of the iterations, yeah, I'm not sure. It's interesting. Some people do experience and other people don't experience. Yo, cheers. Yo, Jeroen. Thanks, man. That's awesome. What a guy. Really, really cool. Thanks, Jeroen. Incredible. That's awesome work. Well, let me check here. Is it in the... Ah, I see it. Yeah. Awesome, man. Thanks, dude. That's really cool. I didn't see your reply on WhatsApp yet, because I went live after messaging you, but I'll check your responses. Thanks, man. Very, very nice. Very nice. What a legend, Mr. Jeroen. One, two, 1, 2. That is a possibility. Yep. Last one. Oh, here. Yeah, there's still the possibility for multiple 1-2s, but your first wave 2 retraced to the 0.236, which that's a pain in the ass. It's very low probabilities. Have you confirmed that wave 5 is in? We're looking for a retracement, and if we look for a diagonal in a 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, 5, then yeah, it's very deep retracement now. So preferably you're starting to look for wave 5 to be finished. Yeah. Yeah. So what I think is what I always think is a good thing to do is, first of all, before you invest, because investing, right, also DCAing, should be done with money you can lose. That's simply how, that's what the books always say, and I very much recommend it. So I'm not a financial advisor, but I do have a very incredibly rich business coach, and I learn a lot from him. And one of the things is, which I guess everyone will know, you don't need a business coach for this. Of course, he helps me in many cases, but we do talk about it, that first of all, you want a significant amount of money in your savings, be it 6 months, be it 1 year. In his case, he says, have 2 years of savings in your bank, standard, right? The moment you have that is when you invest, right, in assets, risk diversion. So you have Bitcoin, right? You have the bonds, you have the funds, the ETFs, right? And you start to manage this. So that is where investing comes in, and you like DCA. But if you are on your final pennies, or you don't earn enough a month to invest, you don't have like many months of savings. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but I don't think, I don't do it myself. I can only talk about me. So I have my lifestyle covered, right, for easily 2 years, more than 2 years in savings. I earn enough trading. I have other sources of income like speaking and other stuff. So what I earn can now be directed. So I use the savings is savings, whenever shit hits the fan. But then I cover the lifestyle. Of course, my wife, she has her own company as well, but I'm talking about me now. So you cover the lifestyle, and then the rest goes like, you have pension, you have the investments, and my wife's in real estate, so that's interesting. But then you start to like spread the wings. Of course, you can always invest with like €5 and €10, but also one final thing, which I think is actually even more important. If you really want to make money, start a business. Let me just scroll down here. So if you really want to earn money, start a business. Don't invest $10 a week. It doesn't. It's useless. You really want to earn money, start a business, right? And then the business can earn you a lot more money in a shorter amount of time than pretty much hodling any asset. And then you're going to use that big amount of cash that you earn through the business, or when you sell the business or whatever, and then you put it into investments that will then pay for your lifestyle, the dividends and all this stuff. Now, the book that I am talking about is one. I need to send a. It's my favorite author, MJ DeMarco. Read the book. It's in the description. Just look in the description. Business books. MJ DeMarco, right? You have The Millionaire Fastlane, Unscripted, and The Great Rat Race. Read Unscripted. That's the best, right? For me, it's the best of the three, and that is it's just for me the best business book out there, where he's very cutthroat, very direct, and I am fully in line with what he says. The book is in the description, Thomas. Just scroll down, go to business books, and there's 3 books of him from MJ DeMarco. The Millionaire Fastlane is the first, Unscripted the second, and The Great Rat Race is the third. I would recommend Unscripted to start with. It's the most complete one. And it is incredibly good. And what he says is very much what I just summarized is, hey, you know, investing with $10 or $100 a month or a week is not going to get you anywhere. You need a serious amount of cash before putting it in investments to make like enough profit, because 1% or 2% or 10% on $100 or $1,000 or 10K is not going to cut it. So he says what you want to do is build a business, and then he talks a lot about how that works and what to look for, you know, opportunities. And it's such a good book, but just read it. But then you got to start a business. It's the quickest way to make money, and you can make a business in absolutely anything. If you have a frustration in your house, you can solve the problem. It's problem solving, business problem. So you want to start a business. It will take years to build the business, but in that time, you build. You have the challenges, and you give up and start and But then eventually, right, if you're successful, which hopefully happens, you can use the amount of cash earned through the business, and now you're talking hopefully millions, and then put it into the assets. And now 1% on a couple of millis is interesting. And and I think there was a question about why do I hold cash? Because I want to. It's always, in my opinion, good to have cash. Not everyone may agree. Maybe everyone puts all their funds into Bitcoin and whatnot. But I want to have cash. But do not get me wrong that a small portion of my, I guess they call it wealth, is in cash, and the rest sits, right, in other places. But I do like to have cash, right? I think it's important, and the cash that I then have is representing multiple years of lifestyle covering. So even if shit goes down, no problem, and I still have, of course, other stuff. So Bitcoin is great, right? As well as other stuff, ETFs and real estate and whatnot, right? You can put your money anywhere. Of course, you have the Bitcoin maxis and you have the Ethereum maxis and, like whatever. But if you put every single dime that you have in a single asset and Bitcoin goes down from 69 to 15K, then what the fuck you gonna do? Like when you're at 15K? If you don't have any money in the bank, you have nothing and everything it's in there, you just lost like 70% of your wealth. I think it's important to always have enough savings in the bank so that you're comfortable, you're not stressing, you don't have that emotion. Yes, you can invest 100% in Bitcoin if that is your plan, but make sure I'm not a financial advisor again. I mean, I just talk about how I do things. Hopefully some people learn something from it, and other people may take bits and pieces, and other people have their own strategy, which is completely fine. But I do always have at least some cash. And even though it devalues and you have it devalues and you have inflation, I still have cash. Short-term analysis is probably at like the 40-minute mark of the stream. Not to forget, by the way, that if you do have cash and you do get a recession, you can put that cash to good use as well. Exactly. Why one extreme to the other? I think it's a balance. I completely agree with the ways of Jedi. It's a balance. It's a balance of, and everyone manages money differently and will have a different perspective. But I think it's a balance between cash, investments in different assets. You missed my question. Yeah, I just scrolled down quite far. But if I quickly go up. One more dump. We are starting to look for retracement, but important resistance 58.9, important support 52.5. We are keeping an eye on retracements. Yeah, but these can be zigzags, 535s. Of course, a flat is still an option as well. And one more low, possibly. I don't really like to count the 1 hour. I feel the 15-minute is more interesting, and we're looking for retracement, and then we observe the retracement really to see if we continue down or find support here. No, CVD is in AGGR. It's an AGGR script, not TradingView. What's up, bro? How you doing? Perfect for you without any cursor delay. Interesting. Where can I use the template you mentioned once it's available? In Discord, will be shared there, and I also I will make sure to make a post in Telegram and stuff, and YouTube. But then you can use it in AGGR. It's the website charts.aggr.trade. What waves do you ideally look to enter on? End of wave 2s, Bs, also watch your playlist. Yeah, with regards to anything else, check the description. Go down to Elliott Wave Education. There's 4 links that will help you out. And looking to enter, yeah, of course, preferably you're entering at a wave 2 or a wave B for a wave C impulse or wave 3 impulse. But I use other tools as well for my trading. So, I mean, of course, you want to catch a wave 3, ideally. But based on my other tools, sometimes I'm catching a wave Y, you know, or yeah, it's just the way it is. But I use other tools to get more trust in entries. I also think, with regards to trading, by the way, it's a comment that Jedi mentioned earlier. Of course, trading can be incredibly profitable, but for most people, right, if you don't really have a clear plan and strategy, or will be losing. And probably in your first few years, it's better to DCA compared to trade. And sometimes for people in general, it's better to DCA than trade, because they'll lose more money trading than DCAing and putting investments into places. Of course, the thing that sells people to trading is to get rich quick, seeing the Lamborghinis online and the Ferraris and whatnot. But it's not get rich quick. It's get rich slow. It's consistently profitability, right? 1%, 2% there, 3% there, and again a 3%, and then a loss, and then another loss, and then again a 3% win, and then a loss, and then another win, and then 5 losses in a row, and then 4 wins in a row. And that's how it goes, right? Solid risk management, not putting all your savings in one trade with 100x. That's stupid trading, right? You're not gonna last. You're gonna lose. So trading is a long-term rich game, right? Get rich slow, not get rich quick. But there is the potential that if you grow your portfolio, your 1% gain is going to get bigger, right? 1% of 1K is $10, right? 10K, $100, 100K, 1K, right? Now it starts to get interesting, right? 1 million, 10K, even more interesting. So now you're like, well, if I trade with a milli, right? If I make 3% in a trade, I make 30K, right? And then, of course, you have your lifestyle costs and whatnot, and maybe your lifestyle goes up, but you should always live, no financial advice. It's good to live below your means, right? Not saying that 30K is a lot or not. It depends on your own situation. But, if you have a good plan and a good strategy that works for you, and you can prove to yourself it works, right? And you are consistently profitable, you can slowly put more money into your portfolio and continue with the profitability. And as your portfolio grows, your 1% grows, your wins will grow, your losses will grow, but you want to keep going at it. But if you notice, like, fuck, man, like it doesn't work for me, I'm constantly losing, you don't want to pay too much for your education, right? So when you're learning how to trade, do it, please, with a very low amount of money. Don't fall for the scam of get rich quick without having any experience, no plan. You have no clue what you're looking at. You don't even know how leverage works and whatnot, right? Get the money off, put $10 in your account or $100, trade with that, right? Not with 100x, but first follow 6 steps. Try as many tools in TradingView as you can. Find your favorite tools, build statistics, make a plan, right? I don't want to go through all the I will. 3 is find your favorite tools, or 2, find your favorite tools, build statistics. 3, combine some of your favorite tools, build more statistics. Now you're building a plan. 4, tweak and adjust, add a tool, remove a tool, build more statistics. 5, start trading it, low amount of money, work on your trading psychology. Read the book, The Mental Game of Trading. It's in the description, right? Best book on psychology. Step 6, increase portfolio size. You only increase your portfolio size when you have a plan based on statistics and you worked on your trading psychology. If you have not done one of these 3, then don't expect to make long-term profit. It's very difficult. And you don't want to pay too much for your education. If you go to school in real life, you're not like, oh, well, school is $5,000 a year, but let me pay $15,000 because I want to. You want to make it as cheap as possible. So while you're learning and developing yourself as a trader, be patient, right? Put that money somewhere else and trade with a low amount of money. Low time frame MS. Yeah, daily time frame and the weekly is more clear. No? Do you look at Bitcoin dominance? No. What do you think about Trezor? I actually don't know Trezor. Muguez, it is a pleasure, man. One of the best sources we found with a friend. It's nice to have friends as well that are in the same boat. I like to hear that. Cheers, Muguez. Welcome as well. By the way, I actually think we may have passed 13K subscribers. 1 second. I actually don't know. I think we were very close before the stream. 13,004 subscribers. Insane. We're in the lucky 13 number. Huh? 13,004 of you. That's nuts, guys. Like every time I look at that number, it's crazy to think that when the channel started 1.5 years ago, I just just did it and hope you start with like 1 sub and 1 like and then 2 and people start to comment and you're like, yeah, someone commented, someone's happy, someone liked the analysis, replying. You get your first 10 subscribers, you get into the 2 digits, you're like, yo, Ashley, she's my wife. I'm like, yo, look, 10 subbies. It feels like so close, then you get 50 and then you get 100. Oh shit, man, I got 100 subs. Like, what the fuck? People are actually commenting and they like it. Interesting. Yeah. And now we're here. It's still it's hard to digest. 13K, and it's going up every day. Pressure. Okay, this was the HODL conversation. Best Loser Wins is a good book as well. Yes. Warren Buffett. Fabra, how you doing, man? How you doing? Isn't it better to do parallel to get the feeling for trading and learning it? So that's why I said put $100 in and trade with that, right? So you want to discover the platform and have a feel for the market, but use a very low amount of money. I don't support demo trading because you learn nothing. You only learn how the platform works, but you don't learn trading really, right? You don't learn how to cope with psychology, which is for many the biggest problem. So put $100 in or $50 in, low amount of money, trade, do the 1% challenge. And the 1% challenge is to double your portfolio, risking 1% per trade with $100. Do that. And if you can manage to go from $100 to $200 risking 1% a trade, which also means you're not going to use 25x and all the time probably, but you actually need a good plan and strategy. Then you can prove yourself like, okay, you know, I kind of know what I'm doing here. But before you're probably going to reach a doubling of the account, you probably by that time already have a plan and stuff sorted. That is correct. This is also the value area high. Good one, Big Ladusky. For gold and cash. Yeah, I mean, everyone has different ways of investing, right? 6 months. Yeah, 6 months is a good one. You missed my question. Please just ask it again. If I miss your question, just copy it again because it's difficult to find. Short term, yes. We covered this stuff because we were talking about this earlier. Yeah, this is pretty much, of course, what trading is. Indecisive market. It's a bit slow. We got to move down. Of course, we can count this as a zigzag or an impulse. Depends on the retracement. So if you do move up and hit the 0.618 from this high to... Holy. Yo, what's happening? Oh, I was stuck. And if you use the 618, if you hit 56.8, probabilities are higher. This is a three-wave structure, and therefore probabilities are higher to still take the high. A double 1-2 at the moment, 1-2, 1-2, a bit lower probabilities because your second one is so long. Your alternative is, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, and another leg, so you get a zigzag. But in general, we're looking for retracements. 58.9 is interesting resistance, but looking for deeper retracements. Trading plan, risk management, psychology. I like it. Doing both, DCA and trading. That's a good combo. What time frame are you using? Personally, I mostly trade on the 15-minute for my entries, but I analyze weekly, daily, and all the other time frames. I also like for swing trading, if I really go into swing trading, I tend to use a combination of limit orders and market orders at times. And then I'm mainly active on a 4 hour, right? Daily 4 hour. But most of the time, the 15-minute is my entry time frame. Is a trader greatest asset? Compound interest, patience, and discipline. What is the best gaming altcoin? I'm unfamiliar with gaming altcoins. Just push the likes to 100 at least. I actually have no idea how many likes we're on. We are currently on 116, yo. Oh, cheers, everyone. 116. At the beginning of the live stream, we had 300 viewers at like 45 to 50 minutes into the live stream. That's absolutely insane. And then the analysis was finished because we finished after about an hour, and then you can see that we get into chatting Q&A, and then it slowly goes down, but that's normal. Right? The analysis was done. So, about the last move, repost. What are the possibilities when you see a range? Is it always wave 4? No, because a wave 2 is also a range. So you're looking at a wave 2 or a wave 4. If you want to talk about Elliott waves in the simplest way possible, you look at wave 2 or wave 4. It's always a wave 2 or a wave 4. But then, of course, internally, a range can also be a wave Y, a triangle, or a wave B or X, being a WXY, a flat, or a triangle, or and others. So yes, when you see a range, it's always a wave 2 or a wave 4 on any time frame. But then the question is, what wave 2? What wave 4? Right? What bigger time frame? What are we looking at? But yes, it's always a 2 or a 4. Side note, of course, if you have a multi 1-2, you can also have a range, but then break out in a 3, right? But then it's a multiple of 2s, so it's still 2s, you know. Yeah. But to make it very simple, looking at Elliott waves, it's always 2 and a 4. Can we argue that wave 5 is more probable to extend, given that wave 3 didn't, and that the parent wave of this cycle is a wave 5 of 3? If wave 1 and 3 are similar or relatively similar in price, then wave 5 has a higher probability to extend, yes. And also from an Elliott wave point of view, from Elliott Wave International, if you go to time frames, weekly and higher, a wave 5 actually tends to have the highest amount of volume because of a blow-off top, which also leads to wave 5s having the possibility to extend. So yes, that's possible, but in all cases, you still expect the all-time high to be taken, and then we take it from there. Yeah. What's the probability of 40K Bitcoin? It doesn't really work that way. Like, it's the same as what's the probability of taking the high or the low. It's probabilities on a weekly time frame are higher for bullish scenarios, and the target area for your weekly time frame is between 57.1 and 42K, and the invalidation is 37.7. Is 40K a possibility? Yes. Low probability. If I would have to give it a number, 10%. 42, yeah, possible. 45, they're still on the cards, yeah, if you take the low. With 40, 0, 40, no. And you're talking 40, 40, not 49, 40, right? It's very low probabilities. On the daily time frame, your target is between 42K and, what was it, 52 something, 52, 7K or something, right? So it includes 49 and 48, 47, 45. But no one has a glass, like, you know, glass ball of will it hit 4-0. Can you hit the 40s? Absolutely. Right? There's still a scenario as well where this is 4 and we move down in an impulse for 5. We take the low, we take 49K, we move to 45. High probability in that case, right? But 40 would be low probabilities. That is very close to bull market invalidation. You have lag with YouTube. I am on Wi-Fi. I actually didn't check if people have lag, yes or no. But it's the first time I used the Wi-Fi repeater here. Analysis ETH is done in the altcoin stream a few days ago. You'll find it on the channel. So if you go to the altcoin stream, this one, you'll see ETH. Now, of course, a lot has happened in ETH, to be honest. So, and ETH definitely looks a lot uglier than Bitcoin. Can I ask for one input for MA200? Is Elliott Wave have any reaction about it? Such a correct... Whoa. Can I... so I don't use the MA200, so I can't answer that one. But is Elliott Wave any reaction about it? Such a... Do we have any pivot for wave 1? That would be the low. If you're looking for a wave 1 and then 2 and 3 up, of course, in a bull scenario. But I'm not sure about, do we have any reaction about it? Such a corrective pattern and our guideline. So you have the guideline of alternation. Yes, if wave 2 is shallow, simple, and short, wave 4 has a higher probability of being long, complex, and sideways. Right? So that's always important. Wave 2, if we look for an impulse down and this being a 4 and 5, wave 2 was shallow and short. So wave 4 has a high probability of being a bit longer and deep. So yeah, and if you do have a pivot for wave 1, you count from the low 1, 2, and then you want to see 3 up, of course. Shirley, how you doing? I love this time for the live stream. I'm actually about to end it because yeah, we've been live for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I can catch at least a part of it regardless of morning and family Work duties. Welcome, Shirley. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Shirley is everyone also one of the very long subs here. Oh, numbers of views and likes are outdated. Yeah, that's okay. Is it possible to numerically determine the probability for either bearish or bullish when analyzed at specific time frame using? Yes, but for that I would recommend to then. I mean, look. Actually, the answer is no, because Elliott waves and probabilities depend on the skill of the analyst, which is always subjective. But if you want statistics, here is statistics. So check this out from an Elliott wave point of view, done over 10 years of data in these PDFs. So check that out. That is as close as you can get to having Elliott wave statistics and making it numeric. But probabilities, bullish and bearish, is up to the skill of the analyst, which then can be reflected in a number. The reason I don't like to give numbers is because people are going to trade numbers. If I say a scenario is 80-20, I know what's going to happen, you know. So I'm not a signal service. So but if I give a probability for bullish or bearish, it's always higher probability, right? If there's no clear higher probability for a scenario, then I won't say higher probability. So then I'll remain neutral and I will say I'll wait for more information. So higher probability is always higher probability. 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, never 100 because it doesn't exist, of course. Yeah. So the 1-to-1 ratio of the wave 1 at 98K is conservative, yes. And we can expect to run more during 2025 to correspond. Time-wise, ending the bull run between, what was it on my monthly chart, March to October would be the best target for 2025. Yeah, would be good. What's your thoughts on miners? Wave 236 is, of course, generally a rare target, but on the weekly at 24K, we did touch it. What's your thoughts on miners? I don't really have thoughts on miners. Yeah, they do a good job. I've never mined myself. By the way, 5-minute probabilities played out. Someone asked me about, can this be counted as an impulse on the 5? Probabilities are higher to take the low, and there you go. If a range altitude is 4, then how can you say if price is 38K, the trend will change to bear market? Does it mean it never reaches wave 5? No, it means that the move up is a 3-wave structure and not an impulse. So you're going to be looking at an ABC or a WXY. Preferably WXY from 15K to 70. But the 38K, right? If you now look for wave 4, and if you hit 37.7, which pretty much is 38K, you lose the validity of a wave 4. And then you start to look for more bearish scenarios. Yeah. So you're not going to look for a wave 5 anymore. In other words, your wave 2 or 4 on a weekly time frame is going to extend. Right? So this is what I meant at the end when I said it's always a 2 or 4. You then have to decide what 2 or 4, right? At the moment, you look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you hit 38K, you're just simply looking for this whole thing being a 2 or 4. And then you look for a 3 or 5 to the upside, right? That is going to change. So then you look for a 3, and maybe another 3, and then you look up. So this is your whole correction. So it's always a 2 or 4, but from an analysis point of view, it doesn't really help you. It's always a 2 or 4. You want to know invalidations, no targets, no retracements, and that's what will help you in trading. Bearish CVDs, interesting. So, yeah. Yo, everyone, I've been here for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yo, I gotta go. First of all, do some other stuff, take a dip in the ocean, and dinner. Probably an update later tonight. This was a long stream, but maybe a short update. But I'm not. Yeah, we covered a lot in this live stream here, live from my new office. I put my desk together. Very, very nice. And yeah, very happy. Got my big screen again, and yeah, it's very, very nice. So happy me. Very long chatting and Q&A, but we like those. We like those. We like to live stream. So yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you hanging out, and stay calm. Stick to your plan. Back to the usual time schedule. Thanks, maybe a Band-Aid, for being here. Thanks, Jeroen, for making that questionnaire. And yeah, again, trade safe, have a plan, have a strategy. We know what we're looking for, and let's see what price is going to give us. No, so have a good one, and I will catch you again. Tomorrow's a new live stream. Tonight, probably a short update, just a short one later tonight. It's already past 7 p.m. We want to go to the ocean, swim, shower, dinner, so it's going to be a late one, right? So you might be in bed already or whatnot. I mean, for the Asians and Oceanians, New Zealand and Australia, it's probably going to be morning, but Europeans might struggle to watch that video. But anyway, tomorrow is another live stream, and tomorrow morning is also another update. So we keep at it. We keep grinding. Exactly, Joshua. We grind. So cheers, everyone, and I'm going to see you at the next one.